according to the extraterrestrials. Chapter 9: Foreigners and Intruders.
In this chapter we will present clues regarding some of the visitors from other worlds, as it was shared with Billy Meier by the Plagiaran extraterrestrials. They are the foreigners. The foreigners are beings of extraterrestrial origin that have been living on Earth, with us, for thousands of years, but in secret places, mainly underground. We will also present what we call the intruders, beings of extraterrestrial origin, like the Men in Black and the Giza intelligences, that are no longer on Earth, and had desire for world domination. This information allows us to piece together a puzzle that reveals an alternate reality of Earth's past and present, whilst opening a door to a more honest future. So, make yourself comfortable, and let's get started. Have you ever seen a UFO? Do you know anyone close to you who has seen UFOs? A few decades ago, this topic was considered a subject of ridicule, and even taboo. Today, however, more and more news is found about unidentified flying objects. The UFOs are considered a real thing, and they become more widely accepted. We now even hear about scientists talking about it seriously. The US Congress has also openly discussed the possible existence of secret reverse engineering programs, of crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft, and analysis and autopsies that have been done on non-human biological entities. What do you think about all this? Is this news unreal and absurd? Is there some special interest in suggesting that beings from space can attack us, and we should prepare ourselves? Or does this open a door to a different future for Earth? The intruders. One of the ET's group we call intruders were the Men in Black. They have been presented derisively in movies. The Plagiaran who have contacted Billy Meier give us information about them. We are told that some of these Men in Black are simply government officials of intelligence groups, who specialize in doing research on UFOs and then hiding it. But there was another group, not connected with these agents, who are no longer among us, coming from a planet in the region of Sirius, but in another dimension of space-time. These Men in Black lived and interacted in our society. They were a group of less than 100 extraterrestrials, who had technology to travel through the solar system, and had long ago settled on planet Mars. They dressed in black, and as they had very particular eyes, so they wore dark glasses to hide them. Their fluorescent eyes reflected a silvery glow. The Men in Black, in their desire for world domination, tried to discredit the subject of extraterrestrial life, and even committed murder and other crimes. The Plagiaran ETs tell us that once aware of these activities, authorities in the Sirius region, their place of origin, decided to remove them from the solar system. This happened in the year 2006. Subsequently, these Sirius authorities destroyed all facilities and constructions on Mars, and left no trace of their presence. It is said they want us to evolve freely without intervention from the Men in Black. Another group of intruders, who are also not on Earth now, but who caused a lot of trouble, were known as the Giza intelligences, or Ba'ath. These are distant descendants of the same ancestors as the Plagiaran. It seems that the Plagiaran have been close to us to counteract the damage they have done. The Giza intelligences settled in underground locations beneath the pyramids of Egypt. There they had several ships, one of them very large. In Billy Meyer's contact notes, with the extraterrestrial known as Ascot, he tells us about it. Along with Ascot, Billy, who was 15 years old at the time, entered the secret intelligence precincts of Giza, underneath the pyramids. They were there for a few minutes and then left. Ascot wanted to show Billy who they were. This group used psychical influences to manipulate political and religious leaders. They influenced them to create wars, establish violent domination, or even promote religious fanaticism. Politics and religion, through fear, have often managed to successfully manipulate the human race on Earth. Also, by blindly following political decisions or religious dogmas, the human being on Earth has evaded his own responsibility, and is not conscious that consequences are the result of his own actions. The Giza intelligence specialized in this manipulation. They influenced Hitler and the Nazis until they triggered the Second World War. Their ultimate purpose was world domination. Between 1978 and 1982, the Giza intelligences were banished from Earth, just like the Men in Black, but in this case by the Plejarin. Today Giza intelligences live on a planet in a remote galaxy, unable to affect other beings. The Plejarin removed them from here, and destroyed and shut down their facilities under the pyramids. It seems that the effects of their negative influences will continue to affect us for many years to come. Does this sound fantastic and unbelievable to you? Or do you think it could be true? The Foreigners. The Foreigners are beings of extraterrestrial origin, perhaps some of them somewhat similar to us, who have advanced technology, and currently live in cities below the Earth's surface, and hidden in other places on Earth. We know they have chosen to remain anonymous thus far, perhaps mostly due to our very aggressive and unpredictable nature as people, and they have also chosen not to interfere. This could change because of the problems we are causing on Earth, which may affect them. Do you believe that these foreigners could indeed exist? Of all the UFOs that are observed daily in the world, the majority of cases are from the foreigners, who may be preparing to intervene if necessary, as we are destroying our planet, also their home. What groups of foreigners are currently flying around in large numbers with their craft, monitoring what we are doing, like the famous Tic Tac UFO? According to Billy Meyer, the foreigners are 5 groups in total. Let's listen to Billy's explanations, in an interview done a few years ago.
Es sind 2 Gruppen, die sie gleich benennen, darum die Plejaren sprechen nur von 4 Gruppen, sind in Wirklichkeit 5.
5?
Ja.
3.
Und 2 nennen sie eben gleich, darum reden sie nur von 4. There are 5 groups, but they have for 2 of them the same name.
Future People Foreigners. As Billy says, these are 2 groups that have futuristic technology, and one of them is time traveling, coming from Earth's future. The other Future People group live underground on Earth.
Eine Gruppe ist die unterirdisch und die andere Gruppe, die ist erdzukünftig.
Oh ja.
They come from the future. Earth Future. Und die nennen beide beim gleichen Namen, darum reden sie nur von 4. Erdzukünftige. Weil ihre Technik zukünftig ist gegenüber der Technik von heute, was wir hier haben, ist zukünftig die Technik, verstehst du?
Ja.
Und die anderen, das sind Erdzukünftige direkt, die kommen aus der Zukunft. Die sind in unserer Gegenwart unterirdisch.
Ja.
Ja, aber sie sagen denen auch Erdzukünftige.
Ja.
They call them Earth Future
Future
people
yeah.
because they have a very high technique, higher as we have here on over Earth.
So, out of the 5 groups of foreigners, 2 of them are the future people. One is from Earth's future and another that use futuristic technology. Who are the other 3 groups and where are they living? The Dogons foreigners. Other aliens correspond to the descendants of the Dogons. This could be one of the foreigners' groups. In a recent contact report, it is said that they come from the Sirius star system and arrived on Earth 800,000 years ago. How Billy and the Plagiaran know about them. In November 1997, a group of extraterrestrials, also known as the Dogons, came from the star system known as Deneb in the Cygnus constellation. They had a technical malfunction that caused their ship to break down when they arrived to Earth. Because they were unable to communicate with their home planet for help, one of the ship's crew members, named Asina, managed to communicate telepathically with Billy Meyer. Billy understood their desperate situation and alerted the Plagiaran, who came to their aid. Later, in the year 2000, Asina would return to personally greet Billy, to thank him for his intervention. Billy describes her as a woman of an amphibious race. She had a fish-like face, with a crest on her head. They live on a planet on Deneb, and came to our space-time configuration, to the stars Sirius and Earth in search of their ancestors. Today, for some reason, the Asina group does not communicate with their descendants on Earth, but they wanted to know about their status and location. These descendants of the Dogons who have lived on Earth for thousands of years, have changed their appearance a bit, and no longer look amphibious, but a bit more reptilian. It is interesting to know that in Mali, Africa, there is the tribe of the Dogon, who have extensive knowledge of astronomy for several thousand years. By oral tradition, they say that they were visited by extraterrestrial beings coming from the Sirius star, with the appearance of amphibians. The Dogon tribe knew of the existence of a white dwarf star orbiting around Sirius, long before it was discovered by astronomers on Earth. They also knew about the moons of Jupiter, the rings of Saturn, and the Big Bang since many years ago. Could it be that the African Dogon were in contact with the Dogons, also distant relatives of Asina, who constitute one more group of foreigners? Agartha foreigners. Lastly, we will share about the largest group of foreigners. The vast majority of all UFOs observed seem to be theirs. Have you noticed that the representations of the gods in India have blue skin color? Where do these images come from? The largest group of foreigners is currently living on Earth, mainly in Agartha. Their skin color is slightly bluish. In our previous chapter about Atlantis, we mentioned that some of the Mu inhabitants managed to take refuge in an underground city, called Agartha, located between the Gobi Desert and the Himalayas. Billy gives us details about the aliens living in Agartha, and maybe in other hidden sites.
The most of them belong to them, and the other one belongs to the future of the earth. But the most of them is from underground. It's a state.
It's a state.
Nur wenig blau, weißt du, nicht stark blau, so very soft.
The foreigners of Agartha, as well as the other groups, prefer not to interact with us humans on the Earth's surface. But there have been exceptions, where they have communicated with a few people. For example, they used to communicate with the director of the Ashoka Ashram in India, the monk Dharmawara. About it, we can listen to the story from Phobol Chan, who lived in that ashram when she was 10 or 11 years old, with her grandfather, the monk Dharmawara. Phobol was later the representative of Cambodia to the United Nations. She says she saw Billy Meyer and Ascot in that ashram when she was a child. Billy, who was 26 years old, was visiting the ashram in 1964, and many UFOs were observed there at that time, which were the beamships of Ascot's group. Phobol also saw two strange visitors talking to her grandfather.
Yes, he had told me that he talked to two beings that came to discuss spiritual matters with him. Especially, they expressed so much gratitude to him for teaching certain kind of meditation. And also at one point, I walked into the room where he was with two beings, who I did not realize was somebody from another, another world. But they were not there anymore when I looked again. So later on, I realized that they were.
Billy also saw these two beings talking to Dharmawara.
Yes, by him I have seen two of such people.
And then they disappeared.
No.
Oh.
They was walking and they was walking around with Dharmawara, with the monk, and I had a chance to see them because I was nearly them walking the road, They have nothing to do with our people here over the earth. They stay for themselves. They have only some few people they talk with them, like Dharmawara.
So, this group of aliens in Agartha is so numerous that we could see them as another nation state on Earth, possessing very advanced technology. In the contact notes, the Plajaran Ta makes it clear that none of these foreigners currently on Earth, while they have advanced technology, intend to harm us surface dwellers. Also, the Plajaran are telling us that they and the Space Federation do not have direct contact with them, because their level of evolution is not as high as their own, and that all of these foreigner people have not a clue that the Plajaran exist. Foreigners do seem to be very concerned about the damage we may cause to our planet, which is also theirs. After all, foreigners have shared the Earth with us for many millennia. It seems that in some occasions they have disabled intercontinental ballistic missiles, with nuclear capabilities in their silos. Is this a way to show us they can interfere if it is necessary? We have so far talked about 4 out of 5 groups of foreigners. Which is the 5th group? This is not described yet by the Plagiarin or by Billy Meier. We still have missing pieces in this puzzle. Maybe in the future we will know more about them. Around the world, we hear many legends and tales of possible underground cities, such as Agartha, in many places on Earth. Some people describe to have seen tunnels opening up in the mountains, which then disappear. And UFOs are seen entering there, or inside volcanoes, or penetrating the oceans. Would these stories be related to the foreigners, which we should call cohabitants in our home? We have rampantly increased our population, and continue waging wars. We also face increased climate change, ecological damage, etc. Will these foreigners remain indifferent to the damage we are causing to the Earth? Or will they intervene at some point, as some prophecies suggest, preserving the Earth from further damage? Will these aliens be seen one day in the future, and become part of the United Nations, and participate in great planetary decisions, necessary for our survival? What is certain, is that we should not wait for somebody to solve our problems. It is for us, Earth humans, to act responsibly, to think for ourselves, and to manage our own difficulties. We must become conscious of the truth found in the certainty we recognize in our reality. We must then elevate our consciousness and bring the Earth, the flora, fauna, nature, and humanity, up to a state of peace and harmony, among all created creations, and life itself.